Hi everyone, Alison here at Keithley Healthy Living. Welcome to our Movement Matters exercise session, which is part of our Rethinking Pain programme. Today we're going to be doing some gentle exercises, both seated and standing, focusing on the middle of the body and the upper body and arms. Before you participate today, you need to be feeling fit and well, free from any medical conditions, illness or injury. Check the area around you is free from any hazards, nothing to trip or fall over, nothing sharp to knock into. You will need to be wearing comfortable clothes and something on your feet to stop you from slipping. Also a good idea to have a bottle of water nearby because we do tend to get rather warm while we're exercising. We're going to be using the chair today, and also I'm going to be using one of these, which is a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, then a cushion will do fine. So if you want to grab that before we start our warm-up. So heading over into my nice space, and we're just going to do a nice standing warm-up today. So I'm going to start with a shoulder shrug, just lifting and lowering from those shoulders, keeping that back tall and keeping that tummy in nice and tight. Do let me know where you're joining me from today. Always nice to know where you're joining me from. Any questions, you can type them in the box. Always happy to answer your questions. And do like the page to let me know that you're joining me. So we're just bending the knees and circling the shoulders now, just warming up nicely. And then we're going to do a heel into floor, tip of the toe to the floor, just warming up through the ankle joint. I'm doing a bicep curl at the same time. So heel into floor, tip of the toe to the floor. And then moving over to the other side, heel into floor, tip of the toe to the floor. Warming up through the ankle joint and just doing a bicep curl to warm up the arms at the same time. Okay, I'm going to march through with the feet. Try and get that heart rate up. Get us nice and warm today. And give me a little step touch to the side. So we're just warming up through the sides of the body as well. And then back to a march. And back to the shoulder shrug. So we're just lifting and lowering through that shoulder. And over the other side. And then we're just going to circle the arm around. And back to the other side. Let's circle around from the hips now. So just taking those hips round, loosening up those hips. And then circle the other way. Keep that back tall. And then we're just going to tilt that pelvis forward. So we're just going to squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Shoulders back, tummy in nice and tight. And then with the head, we're going to look to the right, to the center, left and center. Nice, gentle exercises. One more each side. And then taking that head up and looking down. So careful not to tilt the head back too far. It's just a nice, smooth, non-jerky movement. And then we're going to move on to working through the knees now. So we're going to warm up the thighs and the knees. So we're just going to lift the knee in front of us. Hold on to your chair if you need to, just for stability. And then over to the other side, just lifting that knee in front of you. Lift and lower. Again, hold on if you need to. And relax down. And then we're just going to take the heel towards the bottom. Curling a heel towards the bottom, working through that hamstring. And over to the other side, heel to bottom. Working through the hamstring. And then we're going to go back to the marching. Keep that back nice and tall. Tummy in, and we're going to march those feet wide And march them narrow, march them wide, and march them narrow. And then taking the toes forward, we're just going to push the bottom back and lift up, back and lift up. Pushing through those knees in line with the toes. Working through those thighs. Standing tall with the arms, we're going to just look to the right and center, left and center. Hips facing forward, just the upper part of the body of the moving. Getting that nice mobility in the waist. One more each side. And then we're going to take it to a side bend, hands down by the sides. We're just going to lean and lift, lean and lift. Nice smooth movement. And last one, and I'm just going to push in front with my heels. Pushing through, working through, warming us up. And finally back to that marching. So I'm hoping that we're all warmed up now and ready for the exercises that we're going to do today. So going to use the chair as a piece of equipment first of all. So I've got the chair to one side of me. I'm going to take the leg nearest the chair back. Okay, so just so that I've got a bit more stability. And I'm taking the leg that's furthest away just in front with the knee slightly bent. So both knees are soft and slightly bent. We're thinking about working the sides. So we're going to reach across and pull back. So imagining that you've got a lever and you're pulling it across and pulling it back. So I'm working down those obliques, the side of the body. Those of you that want to work your pelvic floor as well, your hips in this position have to be quite fixed, so the pelvic floor works too because it's keeping you stable. So we're reaching across and pulling back, working through the sides of the body. And again, the hips are stabilizing us, so we're just pulling it back. And last one, rest it there. From here, we're going to take this leg that's nearest the chair towards the front. So we're just going to lift it in and push it down. In and push it down. Lifting and lowering. Now when you're ready, you can try and take your hand to your knee. And then if you're able to, you can take your elbow to knee. So either hand to knee or elbow to knee. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Switch over to the other side, and we're just going to lift that crunch in and down. And we're going to take a bicep curl as we do that. So lifting the knee, thinking about crunching into the tummy. So working through those legs, but also working the middle of the body too. 3, 2, 1, and rest there. Let's switch sides now. So I'm going to take the chair to the other side of me. Once again, I'm taking the outside leg the furthest away from the chair, and then the inside leg behind. My knees are slightly bent, and I'm going to reach across the body. So I'm going to reach across and back, pulling it through. Keeping the back tall and keeping the tummy in nice and tight. Across and back. Hips stay facing forwards. Cross and back. Really pull through as if you're pulling that lever. And again, those hips are nice and stable. Staying forwards. Let's do 2 more here. And last one. Okay, the leg from behind is going to come forwards, and we're just going to lift and down. Lift and down. Straight in front of the body and down. And then we're just going to tap the knee with the hand. And when you're ready, you can use your elbow. If you prefer to stay with the hand, that's fine. Taking it across and back. 3, 2, 1. And rest there. Changing over to the other side, and we're just going to crunch it in. Working through the upper body. Four, 3, 2, 1, and relax there. Do grab a drink in between if you want. Keep hydrated. Okay then, so we're going to take hold of this block that we've got hold of here. And we're going to take the block in front of us, making sure we've got some space behind. Back tall and tummy in. And we're going to try and keep the block hovering over the knees. Quite a tall task is that. We're going to take the body back, and then we're going to lift up to the block. So we're using the muscles in the tummy to do that. All the core muscles are working. So take it back and lift up. Now, if you press up and squeeze up, you can lift up through that pelvic floor and get an extra pelvic floor exercise in there, which we always like, a little extra one. Squeeze up and down. Squeeze up and down. Back tall and tummy in nice and tight. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. 2 more like this. And last one. Let's take one hand in front of us, and with the block, we're going to thread the block underneath the arm. So again, we're working down the sides of the body. So up, thread under, up, thread under. As this is quite a lot of work, taking the hand away from the heart, keep your toes moving. If you've got any blood pressure issues or heart concerns, just to keep that blood flow going through the body. Up and under, up and under. Back tall, tummy tight. Last one, relax. Switch to the other side, hand in front, lift up and thread under. Once more, we're still keeping those toes moving. So my toes are wiggling in my trainers, lifting up and threading under. So feeling it down the sides of the body as we do that. Lift and under. Lift and under. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax it there. Block back in position, over knees, lift, and this time we're going to go back for 2 and then up for 2. So I'm taking the body back, back for 2 and up for 2. Working through those tummy muscles in that space behind me. Making sure my feet are flat on the floor as I do that, so I'm in that sort of 90-degree position with those legs and feet. Back for 2, up for 2, back for 2, up for 2, and last one. Okay, now we're just going to do a little bit of work using the pelvic floor and the thighs. So I'm going to place this block or cushion between my thighs. So we're going to squeeze onto that block and then release. So we're going to just squeeze and release using those inner thighs. As I do that, I'm thinking about squeezing my pelvic floor at the same time. So squeezing through those inner thighs and releasing. Squeeze and release. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. This time we're going to squeeze and hold. So we're holding the block, not our breath. If you feel that it's really difficult not to hold your breath, then try counting out loud, because you can't hold your breath and count out loud. Okay, let's squeeze in. and hold. So squeeze, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and release. As we squeeze in and hold, try and think about lifting your insides up through sort of 7 floors like an escalator, and that really helps you to get the right position, just squeezing up through the inside. Let's try that again. Let's squeeze in, up, lift it, and lift that body. Squeeze in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, release. Last one, squeeze in, squeeze up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Block back in front. We're going to go back for 2, up for 2, using those tummy muscles for a third time. So we're going back for 2 and up for 2. Back for 2 and up for 2. Back tall and tummy in. Back for 2 and up for 2. Back for 2, up for 2. Now back for 3 and up for 1. Back, 2, 3, lift 1. Back, 2, 3, lift 1. Back, 2, 3, lift 1 last time. And rest. Okay, placing that block between your thighs again. Let's do little 8 quick squeezes. So we're just going to squeeze. Squeeze, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rest again. Squeeze, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and rest. Such tiny squeezes, you can hardly see me doing those on the video, aren't we? So just think about squeezing those inner thighs together. Okay, now we're going to just put my block to one side, and I'm going to think about working the upper body now. So important, if you've got any heart conditions or blood pressure concerns, to just have your feet moving at the same time. So we're going to try and include a bit of foot movement in with these exercises. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the arms up out to the side, and then I'm going to squeeze those elbows together. So I'm just going to take those arms out and together. And as I do that, I'm just moving my legs slightly as well. So taking it out and together. Keeping that back tall and keeping that tummy in nice and tight. So here we're working the chest and the upper arms. Out, together, out, together, out, together, out, together, and one more, rest there. Now let's pull the arms down. As we pull the arms down, we're just going to lift the knees as well. So we're pulling down and bouncing our knees at the same time with the head looking forwards. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm going to just take one hand out to the side now, and with the other hand I'm going to just punch up and pull down. Punch up and pull down. Again, wiggling my toes in my shoes to help that Venus return. Up and pull down, up, pull down, up, pull down, and last one. Switch to the other side. Other arm pulls down as the other arm stays out, and I wiggle the toes in my shoes. I'm just working through those arms. Working through the bicep, and the arm that's out the side is actually doing a little bit of work, just staying there and staying still. 2 more. And last one. I'm going to take this arm down to the side now, and the arm that's out the side is going to be the next one that does the work. So it's going down to the side, and then I'm lifting up. So I'm feeling the work on my deltoid here. So it's going down and lifting up. Hips stay facing forwards, back tall, tummy in. Down, lift up. And then we're going to go down for 2 and back up for 2. Down for 2, back up for 2. Down for 2, back up for 2. Last one. And then we're going to switch sides. So this arm's going out to the side now. And we're going just down and lifting it up. Feeling it on the deltoid here on the top of the arm. Down and lifting up. Wiggling those toes in the trainers as we do that to create that Venus return. Nice and controlled. Head looking forwards. And then down for 2, up for 2. Down for 2. Up for 2. I've said this before, you can use weights for doing this if you like. So if you've got some hand weights at home, you can use those. If you haven't, a bottle of water or some tins will also work as a weight. And last one, let's rest it there. Okay, taking the arms up again, so we're back in that chest press position, and we're going to bring the arms in and back, in and back, using the legs at the same time. Head looking forwards, back tall tummy in. Squeezing, working that chest. Three, 2, 1, and then pulling those elbows down, and we're just going to bounce the knees at the same time. Now keeping those arms still in front, we're going to lift them up a bit higher and slow it down, crunching to the tummy. Up, crunch down to the tummy. Up, crunch down. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax there. Let's take hold of that yoga block again. This time we're going to use it as like a stability marker. So you can either take it sideways on or up tall. Okay, so think about having this block in the middle of your body. We're going to turn so the block goes to the right, back to center, and then so it goes to the left. So again, we're working down the sides of the body. Side and center, side and center, side and center, side and center. Let's do 8 to this side. 8. Keeping those hips facing forwards, back tall, so all the movement comes from the upper body. And then 8 to the other side. Back nice and tall. All the movement comes from the upper body. Last one. Let's do 4 each side now. So back to the right hand side. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then to the left hand side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, 2 to the right and 2 to the left. Repeat the 2 again. 2 to the right and 2 to the left. Singles. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest there. What we're going to do now is take the knee in and push out. So we're thinking about crunching through the tummy muscles. In, push out. In, push out. In, push out. Back tall, tummy in tight. Crunch in, push out. Crunch in, push out. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest down. Other side, crunch in, push out. Crunch in and push out. Nice and controlled. Back tall, tummy in. Crunch in, push out. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest there. Take one hand in front and the other hand's going to go to the side with threading that yoga block under for a second set. So thread it under and lift, under and lift, under and lift. Keep it going. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax it there. Switching to the other side, up and thread under. Back tall, tummy in. We're feeling it down the sides of our body. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. And we'll finish our seated exercises with the one we started with, holding that block in front. But this time we're going to go back for 3 and up for 1. So we're going to go back, 2, 3, lift, 1. Back, 2, 3, lift, 1. Up through that pelvic floor as you lift up. Back, 2, 3, lift, 1. Back, 2, 3, lift, 1. And now we're just going to go back and lift up, back and lift up. Final 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Relax it there. Place that block or cushion to one side, and we're just going to give everything a nice little stretch. Okay, before we do that, I'm just going to circle the shoulders around, get my back in a nice alignment, and then let's just get a bit of mobility into these fingers as well, because they've worked pretty hard just holding onto that block. Okay, let's just stretch through the fingers, so pushing those fingers back. And to the other side. And then let's just take the full hand back and just press back. And over to the other side. Now from here, I'm just going to flex the hand and hold between the joints, looking over the shoulder. So get a nice stretch in this upper deltoid muscle, which has worked quite hard today. And then over to the other side. Hand up, between, and look over. Relax it down. Take the right leg in towards the chest at the knee. We're just going to circle the toes as we do that. And back the other way. And then I'm going to point that foot forwards. So I get a nice stretch along the front of the leg. Point and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex and hold. Hold it there. Feel that stretch along the back of the hamstring. Reach towards the toes if you want to. You can also place it on the floor and reach towards the toes if that position suits you better. Then we're going to place the heel onto the calf, feeling a stretch through the outer thigh. If we want to stretch further, we can slide that leg up underneath the knee or rest it on the top, so we get a stretch through the outer thigh. Taking the knee over the other leg. And taking the opposite hand to knee, looking over the shoulder. Switching sides now as we have the same hand and knee together, looking over the other side, feeling a stretch through the sides of the body. That leg that's across, we're going to take it all the way out. So the foot is bent out to the side and we're leaning over the other leg, feeling that stretch in the inner thigh. Swap over to the other side. Hands on the thigh. Bring the body weight forward. Feel that stretch through the inner thigh. This leg that's outside, that's the one that's going to come in now. And we're just going to hold it underneath the knee. Circling those toes around. Feeling a stretch through our bottoms. And we now point that toe forwards, feeling a stretch along through the front of the thigh, front of the leg, and then flex the foot and point, flex the foot and point, flex and point and flex. And take your hands towards the shoelaces, feeling that stretch through the hamstrings. Reach towards the shoelaces to increase the stretch, and if you want to increase it further, place the foot on the floor and reach towards. We're going to now place the heel onto the calf of the other leg, feeling the stretch through the outer thigh. If you want to increase the stretch, you can lift that leg a little bit higher up or onto the knee and bring the body weight slightly forwards, feeling that stretch. Taking that leg over the other leg now, use the opposite hand to knee and look over your shoulder. Placing the same knee and elbow together and looking over the other side, feeling that stretch down through the sides of the body. And relaxing those feet back to center. Let's take the right hand and place it between the shoulder blades. Take the left hand over the top or pushing from the front, giving those upper arms a nice stretch through. Again, wiggling your toes as you do that. And then release it down over to the other side and over or pushing from the front. You can push from the front if you find that a little bit easier. And then we're just taking the hand to the side of the head and reaching out to the side so we get a lovely stretch through that neckline. Releasing that and taking it over to the other side. From here, we're just going to hug our arms forwards so we get a lovely stretch through the upper back. Reach those hands forwards and push away. And then we're just going to lift up into the air, stretching through those tummy muscles. And then placing the hands in the small of the back, press the chest forward, feel the stretch across the front of your chest. Place the left hand down to the side of the chair and the right hand is going to lift up and across your body. So you're feeling that lovely stretch up here, down the side of your body. Release those arms there and over to the other side, up and over. Final stretch, we're going to place our hands on the thighs, pull the tummy in and just round the lower back. So you're thinking about like a cat arches its back, head in line with the spine, really pull that tummy in. And then we're just going to slowly lift it all the way back up, circle through the shoulders, through the back, and listen to the body. Give your hands a shake and give your legs a shake and give yourself a well-deserved clap. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. I really hope you enjoyed the session. You might feel a bit of muscle soreness, which is quite normal when you're doing exercise for the first time, you're using different muscle groups. When you attend the sessions each week and get to do more and more of them, you will build your mobility strength and hopefully it'll help with your pain. So you can join me again next week at the same time. The session is recorded as always, so you'll be able to watch it back in your own time and try the movements again. You can find more of these videos on the Rethinking Pain Movement Matters website. You can find more of these videos lower down on the Facebook page if you want to scroll down. And if you live in the Bradford and Craven areas and you want to be referred into the Rethinking Pain, you can contact your GP and they will make a referral into the Rethinking Pain service for you. Once again, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this session and hope to see you again next week. Take care. Bye.